Welcome to Recovering Addicts. I'm your host, LT, and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice Weaver, co-host, wife of an alcoholic addict.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. First hour, we were covering for sober James because he went and had some good family time with his dad tonight, which is well deserved. He's a hard worker. We found out that our tree is a sycamore, thanks to Merck, maybe.
Take you, Merck.
Yep, that's it. That's our tree. And the trunk is, I'm not kidding you, the trunk is...
It's huge.
Like, it's probably like that. It starts out like it's huge. Take up this whole chunk of the living room. I should put a tape measure on it and see how big that sucker is. What's up, Corey?
Oh, we got one on the shelf. That big, really one.
Linky, you want to go measure the roundness of the tree? Yeah. You think you can do it without any help?
We'll find out.
We're about to find out. Oh, welcome, Polly. Marilyn, welcome. Glad you're here.
1 year, 1 month for Marilyn, right?
Thank you, Gordon.
Happy birthday.
That was my
1 year, 1 month birthday.
Yeah, what she said. So, Gordon, the reason that I made that intro is my very first video here on YouTube. I uploaded January 11th. And at that point, before coronavirus hit and all that kind of stuff, and before we decided to start going live, that was my, I'm clean, here I am world, and I don't care who knows it. I'm an alcoholic, an addict. Love me or leave me, I don't care. Because that's what I am. I'm an alcoholic addict. And if you don't like it, then maybe you don't need to be my friend. I don't want to be your friend anyway.
He wants to be my friend.
Emily, what's going on?
What up, Emily?
I'm glad you're here. Very, very glad you're here.
Emily.
I'm going to get into this 24-hour a day because this article,
Focus.
Where did I just close everything out? My goodness.
We're starting over.
I took a nap, and it was one of those naps. You know when you take a nap and you've taken too long of a nap, and it makes you, when you wake up and you feel like,
Hi,
Tracy. I'm still feeling the effects of that, which is going to suck because once we're done here, I'm going to go try to get in bed and sleep, and I ain't going to sleep. And then I got to get up at 3:30, and then I'll be like, oh, I should just call in sick. You know what I mean? Just the whole thing. Kindle. I ordered this on Kindle Cloud Reader, and that's where I pull up every night when we read through the 24-hour book meditation.
Ooh, Kindle.
It's AA thought of the day, so it's obviously AA, and then it does the meditation of the day and then the prayer of the day. Today is April 28th, and the AA thought of the day is, we're so glad to be free from liquor that we do something about it. We get into action. I love that word. We come to meetings regularly. We go out and try to help other alcoholics. We pass on good news wherever we get a chance. In a spirit of thankfulness to God, we get into action. The AA program is simple. Submit yourself to God, find release from liquor, and get into action. Do these things and keep doing them, and you're all set for the rest of your life. Do these things and keep doing them, and you're all set for the rest of your life. Here's the question. Have I gotten into action? The IOP that I went to, my intense outpatient program, the name of it was Action Recovery. And now that name means a lot to me. And the meditation of the day is God's eternal quest must be the tracking down of souls. You should join him in his quest. Ooh, and that's what I'm talking about. Joining God in this quest helps you stay on that pink cloud. Through briars, through waste, through glades, up mountain heights, down into valleys, God leads you. But ever with his leadership goes your helping hand. It is glorious to follow where the leader goes. You are seeking lost sheep. You are bringing the good news into places where it has not been known before. You may not know which soul you will help, but you can leave all results to God. Just go with him in his eternal quest for souls. And our prayer of the day is, I pray that I may follow God in his eternal quest for souls. I pray that I may offer God my helping hand. Yeah, me too.
I like how it says God's eternal quest for souls. Makes it sound really cool. Like we should have armor and swords.
13 feet 7 inches.
13 feet. So Linky just measured the circumference of the base of that tree. It's 13 feet, 7 inches around. That's a big tree. Antonio, welcome.
Hi, Marcus. Hi, Emily. Your name reminds me of Hocus Pocus.
Lorena, how are you doing?
Lenora.
Welcome to the show.
Got a new face?
So it's totally Lenora.
Lenora, is that what I say?
Lorena.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a restaurant here called Lorena's. Super good.
Lenora. That's better. Yeah, it does say Lenora. Dang it. Sorry for messing up your name, but welcome. We're glad you're here. I'm an alcoholic addict, and we are focused on relapse prevention. We just finished a book called Staying Sober, and we are on chapter 2 of the steps we took by Joe McQ. And today we are going to get in the definition of character, because I want to get into character defects, because once you start understanding your character defects, you're going to help yourself tremendously overcome any situation, anytime, anywhere in the world, and come through it on the other side okay and stay sober. And that's going to help you prevent relapse. And that is the goal of the rest of our lives, as we stay abstinent from drugs and alcohol. And once you discipline yourself to work your character defects and you learn how to take the pain of the world on the world's terms, you don't have to depend on anything. You can actually be abstinence from drugs and alcohol. And it's a possibility. You may need some maintenance drugs to get you there, to help you wean off. I did when I came out of my alcohol, whatever they gave me so that I wouldn't get the DTs and wouldn't get the shakes and wouldn't get the seizures. But there was a point where I had to face it and deal with the pain and go through it. And learning the tools that we've learned is how we get through it. And that is a good future hope for everybody in recovery. So Emily missed us yesterday, but we watched you guys later that night. My OCD tells me I must watch you guys every day. This is good. If we're adding value, that's kind of my worry as we do this show every night, is that I stop adding value. I want to be able to at least give you guys one good golden nugget somewhere throughout the hour that you can take in your sobriety and move through recovery. And stuff like what you just said, Emily, gives me a lot of encouragement. I thank you very much. What's up, John? Welcome back. You and your pig statue.
Not a dog.
Not a dog. What did Paul say? Dang it, I hate when I miss the conversation. Maybe it wasn't for me. Oh, well.
It's not for you. He said, Antonio.
Antonio. What up?
That's funny. Oh, sweet. Taking notes. So what we're going to go through is I found a really cool website, and it's called, what was it called? The Art of Manliness or something like that. Cool website for dudes. And for girls too. Don't matter. But I found this article, and we're going to jump through it. If it takes us 2 nights to get through, I think it's important for us to get through, because I think now that it's 2020, the generations we were raised in, some of us are Y, Z, millennials, and I'm Gen X barely. But what our grandfathers and their grandfathers had, as far as, and then you go back all the way to Aristotle and the classic, what do they call those people in your school? Scholars? Cavaliers, scholars, They had an honor system back then. It was based on morals, which was their character. And I think we've lost that in time. And this article will kind of point that out. So that's why I really want to get into the definition of virtues. Yes, virtues. Strengths.
Vices.
Terry says, I'd say characters to me would be the combination of behaviors, traits, qualities that separate me from others. Absolutely. That's part of it. No doubt about it.
We're going to need to find one, Antonio.
He says you're slacking. You better get on your job. They expect 3 quotes and 3 jokes from Linky.
My phone's dead.
Is that so hard? I'm just kidding.
You need to use mine?
I was just going to let you use mine.
You can use mom's. I want your grubby fingers on mine.
You can put your grubby fingers on mine. You guys take it anyways.
All right. So character. It's like honor. It is a word we take for granted and probably have an affinity for, but likely have never really had to define or may struggle to do so when pressed. So that's what I was saying earlier. What is your definition of character? And are you struggling with the definition of what is character? I was. You got one?
Why are fish so smart? Because they live in schools.
There you go.
But ting.
Exactly. I
This
tell
doesn't
myself
work.
the same thing every day, where those same friends I used to party with were the same friends I used to get drunk with in the right now. And that's right nowhere to be found. Yep. Same. Okay. All right. So if you have a trouble with the definition of that, that's what we're kind of going to get into. It's a word most men and women desire to have ascribed to them, and yet the standards of its attainment remain rather vague in our modern age. It is certainly not a word that is used as much as it once was. Culture historian Warren Sussman researched the rise and the fall of the concept of character, tracing its prevalence in literature and the self-improvement manuals and guides popular in different areas. And what he found is that the use of the term character began in the 17th century and peaked in the 19th century. Sussman writes, the embodied a culture of character during the 1800s. Character was a key word in the vocabulary of Englishmen and Americans, and men and women were spoken of as having strong or weak character, good or bad character, a great deal of character or no character at all. Young people were admonished to cultivate real character, high character, a noble character, and told that character was the most priceless thing that they could ever attain. Starting at the beginning of the 20th century, however, Sussman found that the idea of character began to be replaced by that of personality. So in the 20th century, it stopped being about your strong compass and moral character into your personality. What's your personality like, right? But character and personality are two very different things. As society shifted from producing to consuming, so we were a society that produced and now we mostly consume, ideas of what constituted the self began to transform. The rise of psychology, the introduction of mass-produced consumer goods, and the expansion of leisure time offered people new ways of forming their identity and presenting it to the world, in place of defining themselves through the cultivation of virtue. People's hobbies, dress, and material possessions became the new means of defining and expressing themselves. Sussman observed this shift through the changing content of self-improvement manuals, which went from emphasizing moral imperatives and work to personal fulfillment and self-actualization. The vision of self-sacrifice began to yield to that of self-realization, he writes. There was a fascination with the peculiarities.
What is it?
Peculiarities. Like, why not get tongue twisted on some of these words, man? Peculiarities.
Where's that at?
Right there. So while it peculiarities, my tongue won't work. While advice manuals of the 19th century and some in the early 20s as well emphasized what a man really did, what really was and did, the new advice manuals concentrated on what others thought he was and did. In a culture of character, good conduct was thought to be a spring from a noble heart and mind. With this shift, perception trumped inner intent. So because of the shift from character to personality, people weren't so concerned about who they were on the outside, so much as to think about what people thought of them on the outside. Readers were taught how to be charming, control their voice, and make good impressions. A great example of this was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, a book he wrote in 1936. It focused on how to get the people to like you and how to get others to perceive you as very well versed or trying to improve instead of trying to actually improve your inner moral compass. So you are focusing on almost faking it, and that's the shift that we saw in our culture from being, okay, I'm a solid character. You can take me or leave me, but everything I'm going to do, you can trust, and I give you my word, and you got my word, and I'm going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. But now it's more about what can I do to make you think I'm cool, kind of a thing.
I got another joke.
Lanky joke.
How does Easter end?
How?
With the letter R.
Very funny.
Murd's heard of the art of manliness.
Yeah, mostly podcast website. Yeah, I just came across that today. And it had some good stuff. I'll definitely continue to read keep reading through there. That's where I got this article. Are you behind Murd in the live stream? You might be. Maybe not. So Sussman argues that the transformation from a culture character to a culture personality was ultimately about a shift from achievement of performance. Character was split into good and bad, and personality into famous and infamous. In a culture of personality, you can be famous without having done anything to earn it. Sussman illuminates this difference by noting that while the words most associated with character in the 19th century were citizenship, duty, democracy, work, building, golden deeds, outdoor life, conquest, honor, reputation, morals, manners, integrity, and above all, man or womanhood. The words most associated with personality in the 12th century were fascinating, stunning, attractive, magnetic, glowing, masterful, creative, dominant, and forceful. That's a trip.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I love digging into the history of our words and the way that we think and understanding, because if you're in recovery and they're trying to teach you everything about your character defects, I think it's good to look back at what does it mean to have good character and not get too confused with character and personality. Is that making sense to any of you? To all of yous?
I don't know, but I got another joke.
Bob's here. What's up, Bob?
Bobby. Eleonora.
No, Bob, you're not asleep. You're good. Sober James, he goes on an hour before me, and he went to spend time with his pops and have some good quality dad time. So I filled in for his hour, and I just didn't restart the stream. But Bob, we are digging into the definition of character from back in the 17th century, 18th century, and defining the two. And we found that there's a difference between character and personality. And now that we're in the 21st century, we are all about our personalities and how to make people think we are cool. But what is character? There's nothing wrong with cultivation of personality, which is true. And we've offered plenty of advice on it. Okay. But anyway, blah, 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 skip. But personality is absolutely no substitute for character, which should be the foundation of every man and woman's life. Good, honest character. And if you focus on good, honest character, it's going to help you in recovery. And that's why once we get through this, we're going to hit character defects. Thus, today we will be exploring the true nature of this largely forgotten idea. We'll be doing so by tapping into the writings of the late 19th and early 20th century when character was still king. So what is character? And we're going to do a little word study on this because it's quite telling. And the word comes from the Greek. Sounds like character in Greek, but it literally means like an engraved mark, a character, like a symbol or an imprint on the soul, an instrument for making. And it can be traced even further backwards to like being engraved or pointed stake or to scrape and scratch. Anciently, a character was a stamp or a marking impressed into wax and clay. You guys have seen that happen on the King shows when they send a letter, they drip, 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 put their ring. That kind of stuff, yep. So another name for this signature or monogram or personal superscription or trademark of the potter, the painter, the sculptor, the writer, or any other artist or artisan or inventor as an indicative of the personality of the marker, or as the distinctive individuality of the article marked. It is the visible token by which a thing is distinguished from every other thing with which it might otherwise be confounded.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of the verse, how we're the clay in the hands of the potter, and the potter marks us with his character.
Oh.
Wonder if that goes together.
So your character, is your engraved inscription and stamp on this world.
I have another joke.
Given by God, according to what Felice just said. What?
I have another joke. How does the moon cut its hair? Eclipse it.
Eclipse it. I put that one up there.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Just so the YouTube folks could see it.
Bob's been working hard. Oh, man. I can feel your pain, Bob. You're getting stiff as we speak.
He's walking like a robot tomorrow.
In the 17th century, the word came to be associated with the sum of qualities that defines a person. So your character is the sum of qualities that defines you as a person. These qualities includes a man or a woman's intellect, thoughts, ideas, motives, intentions, temperament, judgment, behavior, imagination, perception, emotions, love and hate. All of these components, William Bruce writes in 1908, The Formation of the Christian Character, go to the shaping of our coloring of a man's character. They have all some part in producing the final type of self, the ultimate habit of will into which the man's whole activities at last shape themselves. The balance of these components within the soul of each man and the way one or another predominates every other is what makes a character unique and sets apart one individual from another. It should not be thought, however, that character is synonymous merely with personal tastes, temperaments, and preferences. Things like how you dress, your favorite music, or whether you are introverted or extroverted have little to nothing to do with character. Rather, character is defined on how your habits, your motives, your thoughts, and so on relate to the morality, particularly as it concerns your integrity. Character was defined as your moral self, the crown of moral life, and referred to as a moral structure, something you built through virtuous behavior. So character is something you have to work on. And our kids, they go to, they did. They went to a charter school based on Aristotle's excellence. And Aristotle is talking about building character in the way that they made this school, because you have to practice to be an excellent person.
Practice. Oh, and at that school, they say something. Instead of practice makes perfect, they say practice makes better, because nothing's perfect.
It has nothing to do with integrity? What do you mean by that, Bob? Thank you, Murd. Get that. He wants some plants in the patio. Hi, honey.
Hi, Dad.
Aaron.
Dad.
Murd's loving your brilliant jokes.
Dad. Dad.
What?
Odie was humping my leg.
Really? You came on here to say that?
No. I came home to eat. I'm thirsty and hungry.
Thirsty and hungry?
I've been playing with Odie. Good. He's fast. And his bites hurt.
Really? Okay, a little to do with integrity. Personality doesn't often match character. No. Yeah, that's what we got to. I don't know if you heard the beginning of our article we're going through, but the change from the 17th and 18th and 19th century shifted from character, people focusing on having a good, solid, found moral character, into personality, and to trying to win people over by, like that one book, How to Win People Over and Influence People, or whatever it was called. But you're trying to focus on how you dress, how you talk, and your influence, how good you can flow and be forceful and, sell people on who they think you. It was more focused on what you wanted people to think about you, instead of what they thought about you, because you were a solid moral person.
Your actions.
Because of your actions, yeah. Character is nature and nurture. It is a nurtured culture and disciplined, so that nurtured tendencies are brought under the sway of the moral motive. His natural individuality marks off a man from his fellows by a clear and specific difference. But this individuality may be non-moral. To produce character, it must be brought under discipline and organized into the structure of a true moral being. Above all, character includes a choice, a settled habit or bent of will, so that it can be seen in its outcome and conduct. Character takes up the raw material of nature and temperament, and it weaves these into a strong, well-knit texture of a fully moralized womanhood or manhood. So there's 3 qualities of a true character we're going to look at. And to better understand these, we're going to turn to James Hunter, who laid out 3 qualities. And it's in his book, The Death of Character. The Death of Character. And I believe after reading this article today, it was quite an eye-opener. And so I got this article off of The Art of Being Manly, and then he just put a bunch of quotes and books together and through this article.
Oh, before you get into that, can I say a quote?
Yep.
Sometimes,
my belly.
sometimes you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Dr. Seuss.
Good job, buddy. So we cannot differ as to need or national. We cannot differ as to the need of our national character of those qualities of self-control, a quick and unquestioning obedience to duty, a joyful contempt of hardship, and a zest in difficult and arduous undertakings which, rightly or wrongly, we consider solidarily, which we attribute in such rich measures to our forefathers, and which the moral exegesis of our national task today as oh man, what word is that? Prematurely demand. All right, to put these primarily and element needs as shapes as possible, let us call the disciplines and artistry. Our American characters need more of both. So basically, to be and have good moral character requires difficult and trying times, and it takes difficult and disciplined, because it's not easy to do, to have good solid character and to always do the right thing when our hearts are bent to do the wrong things. Yeah, Bob.
Character defects.
AOM.
Like tissues. Pull and you're gonna get 4 or 5 stuck to it. Bob says, like boogers. That's funny. Hi, Jana. Welcome.
Jana.
Jana.
Okay, so here's the one quality most associated with character in 1917. And that was in the 19th century. And that was self-mastery. And that's what when we're talking about recovery and the ability to achieve abstinence from drugs and alcohol, that takes self-mastery. You have to be a master over yourself and your mind and your actions, and not just flippantly go with the whim of your desires, because your desires aren't always right. Self-mastery, the domain of an individual over his impulses and desires so that he was in control of them and not the other way around. You don't want your impulses and your desires in control of you. You want to be in control of them. A man of self-mastery embodies the kingship of self-control and can direct his will and make his own choices rather than being a slave to his base impulses, which means that you are stronger and the mind is stronger than your impulses and your desires. And to achieve that and focus to achieve that and be in self-mastery takes a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work, but it's rewarding. And this goes into why. Moral discipline is also a quality that not only allows a man to bear hardship stoically, and stoically means without complaining, not expressing your feelings about it and the pain that you're going through. Moral discipline is also a quality that not only allows a man or a woman to bear hardship stoically, but to even actively seek out rougher, more strict life, one that eschews the kind of indulgence that depraves character of needed training and leads to softness. The pursuit of character does not have to have as its soul a cultivation of self. Sussman notes that it is, in fact, group of traits believed to have social significance and moral quality. And he found that most popular quote related to character during the 19th century was Ralph Waldo Emerson's definition of it as moral order through the medium of individual nature. That is to say that the character has always been about something greater than self and included the self as part of the community. Moral attachment means being committed to a set of higher ideas and to acting, and if need be, sacrificing for the greater good of one's community. Spear beautifully explains the meaning of the moral attachment. Your turn for a second. I'm gonna vape. We got hanging out still.
Hold on, I'm sharing the link to what you're reading in case they want to go.
Did you find it?
I did. I'm spelling character wrong in everything I do.
I can't spell character either.
It just is asking me for emojis now. There we go. So I just on both
The night she's making ribs.
posted the article link if you guys wanted to read it later.
I want some dibs or ribs, Denise.
You guys always cooking good food. Ribs and tortillas.
Where did you throw it, dude? Where did Bob throw our a donation? I did not see that.
Thanks, Bob.
I did not see that. Unless you did it on Patreon.
That's probably where. I don't know.
But no, man, I didn't see.
Man, I'm going to go visit you guys over in the Sawyer house for dinner.
We need to set something up so it's more. Once I get monetized here on YouTube, I have 500 and some odd subscribers, and I'm halfway there as far as hours go. So another couple months, and I'll be able to monetize. We can do that whole super chat thing. It'll make it easy for everybody. We can do Facebook donations too.
Facebook does lots of things I didn't know it did.
Hey,
He said
Naomi.
Patreon, followed your link.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't see it.
Well, thank you, Bob.
I'll have to look.
Appreciate it.
Well, there's a thing. I'm gonna have to look, dude. I'll let you know.
We're on our way. And we're out. Just kidding. We're not out. That'd be funny, though, if we just bounced and went and ate your ribs. If we were closer. I actually had salad and chicken for dinner because I didn't want to waste my workout. I feel like if I would have ate nachos like I wanted to, it would have been a waste. And the girl I work out with told me to not eat nachos, so I had salad.
Bob, did it give you like a receipt or anything, a confirmation? Because I don't see. I see everybody that just became Patreons, and thank you very much.
There must be just a donation in Patreon somewhere.
There must be.
We're still learning.
I don't know, man.
Oh, that's his declines. It's probably there, Bob.
I'll dig into it and I'll let you know. Maybe it went straight to PayPal. I don't know. Oh, that's irritating. Why do they make it so hard? You know, just make it easy.
Has anybody been on our website? Any suggestions? I think it's pretty easy to follow. Anyways, and back to you, Leonard.
So the moral elements of individual character are inevitably social. When a man has, or a woman has, trained him or herself to use the words of Lord morally in dealing with Voltaire's religion, to look upon every wrong in thought, every duty omitted from act, each infringement of this inner spiritual law which humanity is constantly perfecting for its own guidance and advantage, as an ungrateful infection, weakening and corrupting the future of his brothers. He views each struggles within his own soul against evil and each firm aspiration after purity not as mere incident in his own spiritual biology, but as a fight for social good and for the perfecting of the nation and of humanity. As the struggle for social good and the perfecting of human life is fundamentally a struggle for the triumph of ideas and personal wills, God can take hold of men only in man, and revealed himself and wrought redemption less by a social process than by a personal incarnation. And the only way in which we know to uplift the life of the nation and to fit it for its mission and its ministry is to reform our own and other men's character and ourselves to be what a man or a woman among men and women would have to be in the nations to be among nations. So it's taken us through at the moral, at the desire, or the reason that you really want to have good moral solid character is because it builds a nation of people that are strong and unmovable. And that's what we have to do in recovery. And that's why in our recovery program here in this channel, if we're all focused on the same thing and our character, killing our character defects and not going down that uphill, up that escalator and beating our moral character or making our moral character better and better and better, we become a stronger and more solid community that can take on anything and never go back and have to relapse. We're going to move beyond that.
Hey, Tracy. Glad you're here. Thanks, Cassie.
Character cannot develop in an environment in which ethical decisions are forced upon the individual. Character is a product of judgment, discretion, and choice, born from a man's free agency. A decision that is coerced cannot be a moral decision, and thus cannot be a decision of character. You can't force somebody to be morally character. So there are many things that engrave our character upon the clay of our lives and shape our character for the better or the worse in a unique set of scratches and grooves. Because remember, that's what it means, scratches and grooves. So we're going through the world creating our own scratches and grooves with our character. Our character begins to be shaped from the very time we are born and is influenced where we grow up, how we are raised, the examples our parents provided, religious and academic education, and so on. Our character can dramatically be altered by life-changing tragedy, the contraction of a disease, a severe accident, the death of a parent, child, or a spouse. Such events may turn a man or woman bitter or cynical and may cause him to discover energies of his soul and feelings of hope and compassion unmanaged. A man's character can also be greatly formed by a call to take upon himself and mantle a leadership during a crisis of emergency, an event that tests, exercises his physical and mental abilities.
I read that last sentence.
One of the greatest influences on our character in those whom we surround ourselves. Oh yeah, is the ones by whom we surround ourselves. It talks about, like, a lot of times your character is not built on your teacher that was your teacher for 5 years or your parents and stuff. I mean, they have a lot to do with it. But sometimes in your life, you are influenced briefly by somebody who comes through your life and gives you a gentle touch, not, a soft hand, a wisdom that's spoken and directly affects your heart. And from that point on, it changes and moves your character into a good thing. The importance of elements of character making, of character shaping, which are mostly likely we're to overlook or undervalue the exceptional impressions made on us by casual acquaintances in our early life, and the quieter influences exerted over us by those whom we are closely associated in after years, when our characters are commonly supposed to be fully and finally established. If we could trace back to their first exhibit some of the characteristics which now mark us most distinctively, we should perhaps find that we owe our development, the character development in ourselves, not to the steady training and the direction received at home or at school, but to the sudden disclosures of the attractiveness in the life of someone whom we were with but for a brief season. Or again, we should see that the temptations which try us most severely and the evil thoughts and imageries which have given us the greatest trouble in life are the outgrowth of germs planted in our minds by persons from whom we have no distinct recollections apart from the harm that they thus did us. Nor is it in childhood that our characters are shaped and directed by our associates. The best characters are always open to improvement, and that needs to be us. And always so our character is always, we always need to be open to change for improvement, and we are always in danger of deteriorating. And that goes to the saying, we're either in recovery or we're not in recovery. Our characters are on a path of improvement or it's deteriorating. And that's where the discipline and focus of the mind, and that's where the self-will and self-mastery comes in, of making a good, solid, firm character for yourself. But frankly, it sucks. I don't think it's targeted toward manly men. You're pulling up trees. Merc chops them down. There's some pretty manly men in here. That's awesome. All right, let's see. I just want to dig out the nuggets. Okay, this is cool too because birds of a feather flock together. Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. I was always told if you want to be smart, hang out with smart people. And then what do we tell everybody in AA? Find somebody that has what you want and go and hang out with them. So our tastes are vitiated by intimate companionship in social life and in business with one grosser nature, or of a perverted and debased tendencies. So characteristics which have been long repressed in our nature come to a new prominence, and to those which have before distinguished drop out of sight. So long as we live, our characters are in a formative state. So our character is always moldable by who we're around. And whether we be counted strong or weak, our characteristics are currently being reshaped and redirected by those whom we newly come to know and admire, or with whom we are newly brought into an intimate association. A fresh ideal held before us, the purer, nobler, lovelier character coming distinctly into our range of observation and study, is something to thank God for it may be an inspiration to us, and it may help toward a better, higher development of our character than we have before realized. And hopefully we're doing that here on this channel. That we come here, we are inspired to be more pure, more noble, more lovelier, a stronger character. Because if we can accomplish self-mastery of those things, oh yeah, we were here to stop drinking. That becomes such an afterthought because we're becoming such amazing people in the society around us that we are affecting people around us for the better. We become a beacon, a light in this world. I think it's time for Cassie's quote of the day. Too bad Uncle Tim's not watching. Let me make sure Uncle Tim tunes in real quick first.
Uncle Tim, 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 Tim to Tim, Uncle Tim, 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 Tim to Tim, Uncle Tim.
We'll see. He said he was
getting
busy
that tune out of your heads. All.
Unc's not watching, Cassie. I'm trying to get him. Shoot him a text. Tell him to tune in real quick. Path of improvement for me lately. Yeah, good. I hope you're on a path of improvement. We all should be. That's why we're here. Because of self-mastery.
I like how it kind of says that we help build each other's character. Like as I strive to be better, you strive to be better.
Exactly. If I strive to be better, she's striving to be better. It's going to play off each other. It's iron sharpening iron. If you guys are doing that, and we're doing it as a group, and we can do it here through virtual technology. We're learning about it right now, and then we can start putting it into practice in our daily lives. We can talk about it on our private Facebook group, and then on Saturdays during our Zoom meetings, we can really hammer into it. What are we doing to make ourselves better? So at all costs, character must show itself to be free above its circumstances. If a man is the creature of circumstances, we call him a man without character. Changing with all the changing hours, he has no self-identity. And character is that with which we identify a man or a woman. Character is a vital and vigorous so far only as it insists on making itself free room for action amid the thronging events. And it dies down as soon as it fails to hold itself aloof and separate from the circumstances. Character is the reaction from the circumstances. It is the inner movement which encounters and withstands the shock of change and outward things. And it must therefore issue from a life that directs itself. Meaning, I believe that your character, once you build a good, solid character, and you're doing this through self-mastery, that no matter what you encounter from the outside force, you can withstand the shock and the change. And that only comes from a life that directs itself, meaning that you are consciously making these choices to be that strong and that excellent of a person. Go ahead.
Oh, just he didn't answer.
Who?
Ankh.
Oh, yeah. He texted me and said he was busy, that he can't tonight. He won't be on until tomorrow. You want me to save it for tomorrow, Cassie, or do you want me to play it right now? You tell me. Many men feel like character is something that can only be built during dramatic tests and crises, but is truly in the consistent. Okay, listen to this part, you guys. This is where it starts getting good. Many men and women feel like character is something that can only be built during a dramatic test, right? But it is truly in the consistent, habitual, hurried, routine acts of common life that swarm of little judgments is made, such as from the character. We would do well to remember that we are being made every minute, and we can't help it. You're being made every minute, and you're being influenced one way or the other, and it's up to you. And as I walk and I talk and I eat and I drink, marry and I'm given in marriage, work and play, and go out and come in, we are being made. And we are faced with varying circumstances each day and judge and decide how to act. Our actions become our habits, and our habits become our character. You see? Where are we focusing our actions and our habits? So why develop character? Because men and women of character are the conscience of society to which they belong. Deciding to become a person of character means choosing to live a more disciplined and less selfish life. So why undertake such a hard path? Because classical and biblical cultures believed that character of each individual was tied to the health of a society as a whole.
She said save it for Ankh.
Save it? Okay. All right, we'll save it. We will save it till tomorrow. Somebody going to sleep? Marcus, you going to bed? Night.
Night, Marcus. And Tracy. Good night, Tracy. Oops.
So without seeking the power and the strength that comes from building one's character, we lament that when we need the power of self-mastery, we don't have it. I love that statement right there. When seeking the power and the strength that comes from building one's character, we will lament that when we need the power for self-mastery, we do not have it. So if we are not continually, and that's right there, that's it. If we're not habitually daily working on our character, defeating our character defects, and that's what we're headed towards, so that we can get this broad foundation of the value and importance of strong character. and the discipline of building that character is that when you are approached by something outside that's going to knock you off your block, that, you know, you'd lose a job, some outside influence, you're not going to have the strength to stand through it, is what that is saying. Without seeking the power and the strength that comes from building one's character, practicing habitual, virtual, or whatever the word is, virtuous life, practicing that stuff daily, when you need that power to be a self-mastery, you're not going to have it. So it's something that needs to be done. And that's what this says true freedom is too, because when you have a good, strong character, then you are truly free, because liberty is the ability to do what you ought to do, not what your desires and wishes. You just go you're slave to your desires and your impulses. And if you have the self-mastery to power through those and to do what you ought to do, there is true liberty right there. And that's what's going to keep us clean.
Amos is up at Randy's house. Or said hi.
Hey, Randy. That's cool. Is he on my account?
It's Randall Smith.
Oh, really?
My dad came up to Randy's house and he welcomed me in.
That's cool.
Hey, Randy.
What's up, Randy? We're talking about the importance of, hey, Randy, drop some wisdom in the comment. How important is it to have a good, strong moral character, moral compass, and a habitual life of that? I also take pleasure in seeing positive changes in myself. It is rewarding to gain self-mastery. It does, Bob. And that's what we're focusing on. And that's what I really wanted tonight to be, was to just look at the importance of what it means to have good, strong foundation and character before we get into character defects, because a lot of us have been derailed by our character defects, and our character defects is what got us into the trouble we were in, into the using and the drinking, into the hospitals, the jails, institutions. And now that we're clean and sober, and if you're not, you will be, how to focus more on the future and overcome that to the point. I want us to all get to that point where we're working on such self-mastery and good character that we look back and go, oh yeah, I was learning this to quit drinking or quit doing drugs. The drinking and the drugs just become an afterthought. It becomes an energy and a vibration in the world that we don't want to know part of, because it's too low of a vibration for the things that we are trying to achieve.
He says he's doing awesome.
Just for today. Hello. Randy, did you know? Go ahead. Give me some elbows. Randy had us bumping elbows before COVID-19.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the other day.
Atticus. Oh, I didn't have time to get your pictures today because I was on an hour earlier, but I'm glad you were here. Thanks for coming, and I will have your pictures up sometime, I promise. Just keep coming back. You'll see them. One of my favorite ways to build and define my own character is service work. Yes, absolutely. Helping other alcoholics is good for me. You're welcome. Good night, Shauna. Sleep well. I'm glad you tuned in. Me neither, Michael. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I want to see where Bob...
He said he did a one-time donation, so it's in there somewhere.
You might have to take this over, too. I just don't have time for it. You're going to have to be you're the treasurer.
Just give me the login.
Dang it.
That
would be cool.
There's Randy.
What'd he say? Randy says, it's the stone of your personality. It's your rock. It's important to know how important you are. You have to know you are amazing, even though you have faults. Yes.
Thanks, Randy.
Who's the most important? Randy used to tell us that all the time before we started the show, before the COVID crisis and all this crap. Randy would tell us, who's the most important person? You are. And I understand what he means by that. And he's not being selfish when he says it, because we have to take care of ourselves first. If we don't take care of ourselves first, in a positive sense, we are not going to be present to take care of others around us. And that's absolutely right. I'm going to Randy's. Alicia's in the house. Alicia, did I hear you're going to go on Sober James's channel and give your story? That's how it is for me. My last drink is lost in the mist of time. Lots of water under the bridge. So this work on self, as you have been reading, is for the focus of my life. Mine too, Bob. Sweet. When I was reading that article, like I was thinking about you. I was like, Bob's going to like this stuff. I know he is. I know his head's in this place, because that's where I want to do that self-mastery. Just be this strong foundation you're immovable. I slipped today though. It's one of my pet peeves, and it's the traffic. I always default to traffic, and I'm flying down the road. I'm doing like 78 miles an hour in the fast lane, and the speed limit is 75. So I'm not even really speeding. I'm 3 miles an hour over. Somebody's in the fast lane going slow. And I had that desire to ride them, get over so they could see me in their mirror. And for a second, my adrenaline did start to pump, but through self-mastery and character building techniques and tools from AA and NA, I calmed myself down. And I didn't freak out about it.
Nice.
But get out of the way. If you're one of those who are a left lane loafer, get out of the way, okay?
I feel like you're not over it.
Oh, man.
Those loafers. Major facts. Oh, look, Petey says you had great words, Randall. We concur.
Absolutely. Let's see what the two magnificent.
Oh, Unc's on. What? Hold on. It's
Where?
coming. Wait
Where
for
is
it.
he? Where
Wait
is he?
for it. Yes, takes forever.
Okay, Uncle Tim, don't move. Don't move.
Stay.
Don't move, Unc. Whoops. Hold on. Let me get this out of here. Let me get that one out of there. Uncle Tim, we love you.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm here with your motivational quote on the best channel for covering addicts. Everything gets easier once you stop expecting it to be easy. Tim Grover. Speaking of Tims, today's my Uncle Tim's birthday, and I just want to give him a huge shout out. Unc, we love you. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Remember, you're extra special to us. That happy birthday comes from myself, LT, Felice, Link, Millie, Zylan, Amos, the entire Weaver family, and my daddy dear too. Love you, Unc. Enjoy your day. Hope to see you soon. You're in our prayers. And as always, you guys know what to do. Let's continue to spread that love.
Thanks, Cassie. Happy birthday,
Happy
Unc.
birthday, Uncle Tim. I didn't catch that second week, Cassie. Dang it.
That's funny. I love the wink. It's my favorite.
Me too.
Happy birthday to you.
You are welcome. Only if you bring your family. Your family is also your rock. Your kids have learned how to take care of the family as well as you. Amen.
Yes.
The family is a rock.
We recover better together,
We
Randy.
recover better together.
Lovely loafer. Well, if you're from Utah, you know that phrase well. Cassie says you guys are twins.
Why? What do we do? We are twins.
You
Gemini
probably-
twins. Hey, do you guys want to hear a Cassie and LT fact? Because Cassie's my cousin. We are exactly to the hour 3 years apart. Born on the same day and the same hour. We share the exact same birthday. We're Geminis.
Happy birthday, Unc. Happy birthday, Unc. Love your quote, Cassie. Ooh. He's looking forward to hearing your story, Alicia.
Yeah, me too. Again.
Happy birthday. What are you, 27?
Oh, yeah. 27 times 50.
27 and a half?
He better not have logged off. He better be crying. He better be his eyes better be so welled up with tears he can't type.
You can't see through the tears.
You can't see through his
just a
tears.
waterfall.
He's a cry guy. He likes to tear up.
It's okay to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Criers are less stressed. I read an article, so it's true.
I cry a lot, especially after Link's accident. I started tearing up about everything.
Cries more than I do.
No, I don't.
Just about as much.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash. Oh my gosh. I have the Donkey Kong ringtone, and I told the kids I'd give them $2 if they knew what it was. And Millie said, the smashing donkey or the smashing monkey.
She's not wrong.
I was like, well, you're not wrong, so you win $2.
Michael Teeter, now you know. So here's something for the gratitude list. The princess volunteered to help me tonight potting up shrubs. I tell no lie. Her and her boyfriend knocked out about 50 of them. That is good. It's good for them too.
Put them to work,
And
Bob.
good for you, Bob. I bet you appreciate that like crazy. Niagara Falls, Naomi says. Same weight, same time, same length, same day, same month, 3 years apart. Gemini. That's crazy, huh? There he is. There he is. Sassy Cassie and everyone. I'm glad you popped in, Unc. I actually went on an hour early because Sober James went and spent some quality time with his dad. So if you guys don't know who Sober James is, let's put his link in the description. Merc, do you got his do you got Sober James's link you could drop in there real quick for everybody? So if they don't know who Sober James is, they can check him out and join the stream team. Sober James and I have teamed up and we stream every night. He goes on 1 hour before me, and we've been doing it 7 days a week for the last 44 days. And tonight, him and his pops got to hang out and watch the last episode of some show that they like to watch together. And it was good. He needed to go hang out with his dad. Sober James has been in the house all by himself for way too long. Crying is a Gemini thing, Jenna says. Enjoy your day, sir. I never started crying. You're crying.
Big baby. Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Merc.
I don't have that one.
I see Merc as somebody that's just like got that solid quality moral. He's a solid rock. All right, so tomorrow we will get into character defects. I'll name them off, and I think the best way that I can teach character defects is to just read my character defect thing, and I don't want to go through the whole thing because it is boring. But we'll hit some and do a couple examples just so we can distinguish. I call him honey. You guys hit that link right there and subscribe to Sober James and watch the Streamy Dream Team. And we're here for your guys' motivation and recovery. James has a good amount of sobriety and a lot of wisdom and been around the AA program for a minute. He's all about abstinence and self-mastery as well, as am I.
Yes,
Yep.
he is a June baby.
I'm going to be 41.
He's so old.
Oh,
I mean,
man, 41. I never thought. You always hear that from your uncles. You're going to be old one day.
oh, that's you.
There it is. It's right around the man. I can't imagine what Unc feels today, though. Woo-wee.
He's only 27.
That's an old 27. All AA progress can be reckoned in terms of just 2 words: humility and responsibility. Our whole spiritual development can be accurately measured by our degree of adherence to these magnificent standards. That's as Bill sees it on page 271. To acknowledge and respect the views, accomplishments, and prerogatives of others, and to accept being wrong shows me the way of humility. To practice these principles of AA in all of my affairs guides me to be responsible. Honoring these precepts gives me credence to tradition 4 and to all other traditions of the fellowship. Alcoholics Anonymous has evolved in philosophy of life full of valid motivations, rich and highly relevant principles and ethical values, a view of life which can be extended beyond the confines of the alcoholic population. To honor these precepts, I need only to pray and care for my fellow man as if each one were my brother. Yes, we are family and we recover better together. Thanks, Cassie.
Merd says you're young.
Thanks, Merd. Are my cheeks turning red?
Well,
I do have my whole life ahead of me. 40 isn't old.
No.
There's a I can't remember what, some proverb or some saying that says 50 is the youth of your old age, or 40 is the old age of your youth, and 50 is the youth of your old age. Think about that. 40 is the old age of your youth, and then 50 is the youth of your old age. How old are you, Polly? Yep. Michael, your birthday's on the 8th of June? Sweet. That is cool. That is way cool.
I was born on Thanksgiving and named after a Christmas song.
Grab
So,
Linky.
There's that.
Yeah, 2 amazing channels. I agree. I love Sober James' channel. I tune in every chance I get. No doubt about it.
Does your sobriety make you feel younger?
Yes.
There's a bug on the ceiling, Dad.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny because we were drinking to party and feel young at the same time too. But my sobriety, I don't know if it makes me feel younger. I feel wiser. I feel healthier and stronger. Younger, I don't know. I have to think about that.
Dad, there's a bug on the ceiling.
Well,
Makes Alicia feel that way.
oh. Alan just turned 52. I don't want to hear it. He's like, shut up, kids.
Oh, you're still young. LT's just old.
Yeah, it's just me. Had a birthday in March. Naomi said, "Happy birthday, 38."
Happy 38.
I remember when I was 38.
Oh, Dad,
I think I'm
drunk.
only 35.
I think it's Aaron's birthday today.
Almost.
No. Marilyn had her 1 year, 1 month birthday today.
Happy birthday, Marilyn.
1 year, 1 month. That's no joke.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sobriety makes me feel like a sober 18-year-old.
With 4 kids and
it's
a
going to be a
mortgage.
trigger for me too, man. Hey, we're going to have a prayer. Ready? God,
God,
grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen.
Love that prayer. The wisdom. God, give me the wisdom to know where to put each situation in life. Either in I can change it or I need to accept it. God, give me the wisdom. And if I can change it, give me the strength and courage to do so. That is an awesome prayer.
That's a good prayer.
Who
I
ever
agree.
thought of that? It was awesome.
I do
Hey.
concur.
But think of this. God gave him the knowledge to think of that prayer.
Oh, you're right.
Dad, your uncle's birthday is today.
I know. Okay, you missed it. Cassie said a happy birthday shout out to him.
Ooh.
We have to watch after the show.
Wait, did she come on?
She did right here. See? I'll show you when we're done.
I thought you meant like on.
You're welcome, Merd. It went to ad blocker. Dang it. How did that happen? I like ad blocker, but not that much. Anywho, I did the page. Okay, cool. Thought
God's
I was
figured
losing
out.
my mind. I was about to punch my screen. I actually have a crack in this computer screen, and luckily it's just the outer plastic layer. It's nothing to do with the computer. I was drunk one night, and I couldn't do something, and I punched it.
Something with pictures.
Something with an idiot called LT drunk.
Good night, Alicia.
Good night, Alicia.
All right, you guys, until tomorrow, stay strong, work your program, and remember that we recover better together.